Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Trimco number W3913 flush extension bolt for wood doors. This is a wood door style flush bolt. And wood door style flush bolts are generally referred to as corner style bolts. And they're appropriate for installation in wood doors when compared to the lever extension style bolts that require a long hole be drilled down into the door, which is not always possible or feasible. A corner style is appropriate for a wood door installation because it's just more conducive to the installation and preparation machining requirements that you'll have to do on the door itself. So there is a link below this video to a document called Cut Sheet. It's basically the installation instructions that come with the unit. And first of all, this is the bolt in the 605 finish. That means three things. It means that it's made of polished, this is made of solid brass, that it's polished with a lacquer applied. This is a 6 3/4 faceplate by 1 inch wide. We'll go over the rest of the dimensional properties from the installation instructions or the cut sheet now. You'll see in the upper left hand corner that it gives you the preparation that they're looking for you to make in the door. So from the top of the door, or the bottom for that matter, 6 3/4 all the way down to 2.5 inch on the top or the bottom of the door. You've got 3/32 of an inch they want you to mortise here and down here. So the mortise prep is going to be 6 inch from the top of the door down, because you don't need to come you just need to come below the operating mechanism, and you're going to stop about here. You're going to do that to a depth of 1 3/8. So according to the template, so from the edge of the door to the back side of your prep at 1 3/8, you can see that you're going to be able to fit right on in there everything that you need. You don't have to have 1 3/8 all the way down. However, if you're going to use the included dust box that comes with it, and that's just there to help make a nice clean installation from the perspective that the core of the door may intrude through the void of the faceplate. You don't want any of the particulate of the door coming out and through, which is possible that it can. So a nice clean installation is going to look just like this. That's where your 1 3/8 is going to come in, down to 6 inch from the top. If you're not going to use that, well, then you can, I suppose, modify how you're going to prep it. Even the width, which we've not given yet, at 1 inch, you could even, I suppose, somewhat modify that down the edge of the door, because the faceplate and the inner mechanism are not the same dimension. But, 1 3/8 deep, 6 inch down to accommodate everything the way it's intended to go in. Okay. Dimensions for the what they call the flush bolt cover or the dust box are there. Now, interestingly enough, with wood doors, because you're taking out so much of the door in the top, and which is a reason that some people don't like to use corner style flush bolts, is that you remove so much of the wood, you're literally going to have included countersunk washers with screws. When you attach this through the face of the door on both sides, here, the two here, and the two here, to increase that surface area, because enough use on that door, you've somewhat substantially weakened the door installation itself. So literally bolting the door with that large washer is going to give you the ability to increase that surface area that you're dealing with. Okay. We'll talk more about that when we get to the installation instructions. Looking at the rest of the dimensional properties, we have the strike. And those strikes are generally about 2 1/4 and 15/16 of an inch wide. This is going to come out of the bag one way or another. There we go. Very nice polished brass finish, and that's a hallmark of Trimco. Their finish, especially on polished brass, always looks so exceptional. Overall width, 15/16, 2 1/4. You're going to mortise this to your header, or surface mount this to your sill, whatever the condition's going to be, how you'll install it. The thickness of the item is not given, but it's probably about 30 thousandths would be my guess. Maybe a little heavier than that. Oh, way heavier. Forgive me. About 58 thousandths, depending on where we grab it. About 60 thousandths. So it's about the thickness. It's a 1/16 of an inch. And it may be indicated somewhere on the sheet. I'm just not seeing it. You'll notice on the right-hand side, you'll have an area for 3 screws here. You'll have an area for 2 screws here. So by the time this is all said and done, you're going to literally have 9 screws that are going to hold this to the door. Now, the installation instructions. Route the door is shown in Figure 1. Basically, if you've got the flush bolt, do a reality check. Put your tape measure on everything and make sure that it all matches and that you understand and that it all makes sense how you're about to proceed with cutting the door. Chisel door in regions indicated as it required so flush bolt fits on both flat, front, and top of door edges. Drill 4 1/8 of an inch holes as shown in Figure 1. The 1/8 of an inch holes, and that's to account for these screws, and they give you the locations of where to carefully drill those. Insert the flush bolt cover in the door, as in Figure 2. Install the flush bolt with the 4 832 by 3/4 metal screws and washers. You will have some combination thread screws that are here. Let's just pull them out of the package so that we can look more closely at these different screws. Okay. So, combination thread, wood or machine. You're not going to use those. You're going to use these machine screws to go into the face in the 4 locations. Bore door edge with a 5/8 diameter, 1 inch deep hole. Locate so rod end engaged when bolt is activated. I'm sorry, I said door edge. I was wondering where we're going to drill a 5/8 hole in the door. You're going to drill a 5/8 hole in the header or in the sill to account for the bolt. That's going to happen. Okay. I would be installing that washer in this sort of situation. Okay. Might need to account for a little bit of the size of that washer. It's got a bugle head sort of shape to it. Back to the installation instructions. Prep the header or the sill so that your bolt is going to work. Locate the strike over that 5/8 of an inch hole and then test the bolt. So what they're saying is just literally use this to mark your hole and then locate the strike accordingly. Okay, that's what they're saying there. That exhausts everything when it comes to the installation instructions. These wood door style flush bolts are used on wood doors because the ones that are intended for hollow metal doors are really not appropriate, certainly not appropriate for a field installation, although a lot of people will use them and they're incredibly common to see on wood doors as well, the manual extension. The argument could be also that if you've got an 8-foot door, this is awfully inconvenient because you probably aren't going to reach up and be able to activate that. So that's why people will use the extension style flush bolt rather than the corner style. If you have 6, 8, or 7 foot doors, this will work. Taller than that, people, understandably have a problem with the position of the bolt on the door. Available in different finishes that are listed in the site. 605 for polished brass, 606 satin brass, 613 oil rub bronze, 625 polished chrome, and 626 satin chrome as well. I don't see anything else on the installation instructions making this video complete. Be sure to pre-drill all of the holes for the screws. You don't want to do all the work of chiseling it and then cracking or splitting the stile or the rail because you didn't pre-drill. That's just going to be a number 8 size screw, but just be mindful of needing to pre-drill that material. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Trimco products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, I really like the Trimco polished brass finish, but it goes beyond polished brass. I'm a fan of their architectural finishes because I get the sense every time I review one of their products that it's been hand polished. I've received solid brass, polished brass material from them in the past, and you can still smell the polishing compound that they've used on the material. You do get the sense that it's a handcrafted piece of trim and auxiliary hardware. Trimco historically has not had the fastest lead times, that's to be sure. Trimco historically is material well worth the wait. So if there's a lead time involved, then there will be with Trimco because they're a manufacturer. They make things to order. Order the material on time so that you have it, and you'll be incredibly pleased with the quality of the product that they put out. They're a company that's been in the industry for decades, and their name is synonymous with high-quality trim and auxiliary hardware. Any questions on the W for wood, 3913 flush bolt, extension style bolt for wood doors, a wood door type, or any other Trimco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.